Okay. Wait 1 second. Okay. All right. Let's go with y'all young boys. It's the boy, Dallas Gamer, back on YouTube. I'm streaming on Twitch, but this is going to be a YouTube video. Okay, you know we got. So, how many months has it been? How many months has it been? Okay, so April to now. What is April 4? 11. 7 months. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been 7 months.
Free for all. Время идет. Get to work.
So it's been 7 months since the EDP drama, and I never made like a video or anything talking about it, even though like I really wanted to. But you know, I guess you could say I've been holding out to do this kind of video. You know, I guess that's the whole reason. Me not speaking on it. I'm not afraid to admit it, you know, like EDP was a role model for me, you know. He was. He was a guy like me, you know. I mean, like we're not the same. We're not the same or anything, but you know, he was a bigger guy. You know, he had a lot of influence, just like I wanted to. And I'm not afraid to admit it, you know, like I took inspiration from him, you know, like me starting my YouTube career, that was because he had a YouTube career, you know. I'm not saying I'm like a fanboy or anything, you know, like I'll never be like a fanboy or anything. But I'm not afraid to say it, like I did have respect for him. I did have respect for him, and you know, him taking X amount of years to get to where he was, you know, like I'm not afraid to say it. I'm man enough to admit it. But with that being said, you know, like, I haven't talked about it much on my YouTube channel, but pedophiles, like, you know, like, I have extreme hatred for pedophiles. And, you know, now we all know that's what he is, you know. That's what he is. Legally, he's not, because no charges have come out against him or anything. But you know, that's what he is, and everybody knows it. Nobody should be afraid to say it either. I'm not anybody who's afraid to say it. He's a dirty piece of garbage. But with that being said, you know, like,
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
I think it's important for us as a community, and you know, to understand that the reach and impact that he had was real. You know, like, the fact that he bounced back accusations as strong as, you know, going after little 13-year-old girls. You know, like, him being accused of that should have, like, ended his career right then and there, because of how he responded. If it was anybody else, you know, like, they would have got called out for it, and we would all understood and knew that he was indeed a pedophile. But not EDP, you know, he sat there and just said, "Oh, that's not me. That's not who I am." And what do? We just believe. He showed absolutely no proof at all whatsoever. He got away for as long as he did. And that's scary. That's scary to think about. You know, it's as a person who is completely against pedophilia or anything like that, you know, it made me sick to even, you know, think about children that he could have, you know, affected, you know.
Care package available for tasking.
Some, like, I think about, you know, like, what that little kid was me, you know, like, I don't know, I don't have any support system that would help me get through a traumatic event like that, you know. I'm not afraid to admit it, like, that would, you know, that would affect me greatly, you know, because he's, you know, my role model, because, you know, he meant a lot to me as a little kid, you know. And anybody can feel whatever kind of way they want about it, but, you know, that's just the truth. That's the truth that's the truth for a lot of people, you know, not just me. Not just me. So, you know,
Hostile counter spy plane established above.
as ridiculous as it is, you know, it's more ridiculous that we let him get away for as long as we did. But thankfully, you know, we did get him, you know. We did get him. See, I knew what kind of person Alex was, or Chet Goldstein at the time. I knew what kind of person he was because I had watched Predator Poachers a lot. You know, like, they were Predator Poachers, Massachusetts or whatever. You know, like all the different branches. I used to watch a lot because, you know, those are like catch pedophiles. You know, that was my kind of content. You know, when I seen EDP, it was like, you know, like, it was crazy to think about because of the image that he had, you know, himself, that he had portrayed of himself. You know, it's insane to think about nowadays because, I mean, not nowadays, but it's insane to think about back then because, you know, it's EDP. He's an OG. You know, like, there's no way he would, you know, let himself be caught up like that, right? You know, I guess wishful thinking is just that. you know, for a reason.
Enemy spy plane inbound. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
And I didn't know what side to pick, you know, even though like I truly like I despise pedophiles with a passion, you know, for a reason I'm not gonna get into in this video, but pedophiles, you know, like they're like worse than the scum of the earth, you know, like they're on a different level of trash, you know. And me to have heard, you know, EDP was that, you know, I was on top of the case, what was happening as it was going on. I just didn't make a video on it like an idiot. Now I'm doing it now and nobody's gonna see it, you know, like, but I want to make this video for my own mental sanity or whatever, you know, like this is for me, you know, this is for me alone. Nobody don't, you know, like nobody has to see it. That's completely fine with me, but you know, like for my sake, you know, I want to make this video and talk about it because, you know, like I was one of those EDP fans, you know, because I seen a lot of myself in EDP, you know, like not the way he was portraying himself or whatever, but he was a successful black man. He's a successful big black man. Of course I'm not as big as him or whatever, but I did see myself in him. I'm not afraid to admit it, like other people or a lot of other people, you know. Of course, other YouTubers, you know, like, you know, they looked up to him because, you know, of course he was an OG or whatever, and you gotta respect the OGs, you know. Of course, you know, like now, you know, like nobody should have any kind of respect for him at all. You know, he's been kicked off of YouTube how many times now? 3 times. Kicked off of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. He ain't got nothing now. I know, like he tried to go on some obscure video sharing platform or whatever. You know, they even kicked him off of there. And it's EDP, you know, like that's a big name to bring in your tiny little. Why do I keep playing free for all? Into your tiny little, you know, like video app, you know. You know,
Free for all.
it's kind of that's a big boy move right there, you know, to kick that man. But all right, bro. All right, bro. Dang, I have to use this, bro. But everybody knows, while as influential as she was, you know, takedown was crazy, you know. It wasn't just crazy because, you know, that's how he is, you know, like, because it was Alex who took him down. Jake Goldstein. I don't know, like, what I should refer to him as, but he was Alex from Predator Approaches, and I watched a lot of his videos back in the day when he used to make those, you know, Predator Approaches videos, you know, as Predator Approaches, you know. I was the OG fan of Alex and of EDP, and you know, unfortunately, I can't be a fan of either of them because, as we also know, you know, Alex was unfortunately very idiotic and made a lot of racist jokes for no reason that he thought was funny or whatever. And, there was a
Enemy spy plane inbound.
I think it was a live stream. I'm not sure. Of
Multiple
him
hostile spy planes detected.
telling like an actual 13-year-old girl to like take nudes, whatever. And while I am not sure 100% because I used to, believe it or not, it's crazy to even think about it, but I attended a lot of his live streams or whatever, and I never personally seen it. I wasn't ever in any of the Discord servers or whatever. You know, I just chose not to because Discord is a terrible place where terrible people go, in my opinion. Too much stuff happening on Discord. But I never participated in any of his Discord chats or whatever. But I did hear that you would ask fans for decoy pictures, and I'm guessing he was in the call with one of his fans or whatever, and had asked her to send you know, actual nudes under the guise that, you know, are predators, you know, 1-to-1 active dudes. I'm gonna make sure the videos are like that. Some movie dumb. Just a video. But yeah. That was a wild event. I can't confirm or deny that. Although I was a big fan of him. And the rest of the Predator Poacher branches. I was a fan of them all. I don't know. 6 months later, I'm still in shock that that all happened. You know, I'm not shocked at all that Alex was called out for being racist. Like in a lot of his catches with like black predators or whatever, you know, he would make those kinds of jokes. I remember it was a video where they had went to a half house. They went to a half house to catch a predator, and there were other men there other than the predator, and there was this kind of mentally off. You could tell he was a little off. It was a man. It was a black man, or whatever. And Alex was throwing jabs at him. He wasn't. He didn't do anything. Or he did something wrong because he was in that half house, but he wasn't spraying any minors, whatever. And yet, he was, you know, Alex was taking jabs at him unnecessarily. I'm surprised nobody actually seen or found that video or talked about that video. I've seen. I watched a lot of, you know, I watched a lot of videos talking about the catch situation, you know, not just with EDP but also with Alex. And you know, I didn't see any of them talking about that specific catch as any kind of evidence against Alex.
Care package available for tasking.
Hostile spy plane established overhead. Call. Hostile air patrol detected.
I did come back, but that was to me a big issue that nobody ever talked about. Everybody can call it new info and suggest my video to others. There you go. I'm on top of it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm on top of it. But I'm on top of it. Yes, sir. Call me Mr. Detective. look at me, giving y'all new information and stuff throughout this rambling video. I don't want to play this anymore. So, wrapping up this whole video or whatever. It's gonna be the last game I'll put in here. As an EDP fan, the situation hurt me on a different kind of level. As an Alex fan, the situation didn't hurt me as much because he did have it coming. And I would be surprised if he didn't know he had it coming. To any victims that had to suffer through
Team deathmatch.
any kind of EDP situation,
Defend our freedom.
altercations, messages, etc., etc. I'm sincerely hoping that they are doing well and they're prospering at this moment of time. Like, I wish all those underage, very underage girls the best.
We've pulled ahead.
It was, again, this is,
We've lost the lead.
it's 6 months later and I'm still half shocked because, you know, like, it's still crazy to know that my childhood idol was, to me, the worst kind of person in this earth. Murderers, they're murderers, you know. They're murderers. You can have respect for a murderer. A pedophile or a pedophile, you can't, there's no respect to be had in that at all. You can't like murder at all. Like, even in jail, predators get bullied. Among other things, they're bullied by, you know, other inmates, you know, like, being a predator, like, nobody likes a predator. And EDP just happens to be, you could say, the biggest one of them all.
Enemy sentry turret
Many
detected in
different
your AO.
ways. Well, not that many different ways. He takes the biggest poops. It's still crazy. That's still crazy, man. I said I was a fan and all, but him sending pics of that, you know, if you're watching this video, you know what he was sending, bro. It was worse. It was worse than pictures of his very tiny meat. But I mean, like, yeah, alright, okay. It's insane. All right, I'm not gonna touch it.
Hostile counter spy plane established above.
As a fan, I can be the one to say, let's not get this man a platform anymore. He's the platform. Let's keep it that way. People like him don't deserve any kind of power whatsoever over anyone. Can't be trusted. Well, nor will they ever be trusted. At least in my eyes. Hopefully, the public can understand and see the way I see it. EDP, I touched on it, I think, on the video before this. He's a part of a bigger issue. And the issue itself is what people in general. There's a lot of YouTubers, you know, they have like issues coming out of them interacting inappropriately, various amount of minors, various amount of YouTubers doing this. This isn't anything new. EDP was just another cog on the very, very sad wheel that we'll call two predators. Not sure how anyone else feels about the situation. I talk about anyone else's feelings, but the way I feel, the way I feel about it is, these people, unfortunately, they do have a platform. That's how their reach on minors even begins. So let's not act like these people never had any power until they did, and felt that they did. A lot of people, victims, especially, they might have not said anything because of the power dynamic that a lot of people talk about but never truly understand. And with that, you know, like, with the power dynamic being as prevalent as it is with a lot of people, come on.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
It's like, but with power that certain people hold, and they shouldn't be able to hold it at all. And hopefully those people know it. All I can ask for anyone is for
Cruise missile inbound.
everyone to do better. Predators, victims, you know, I'm just hoping everybody everywhere can do better, you know. In what ways, I am not saying at this moment, but
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
We as a community, as a YouTube community, we can just do better. Of course, it's not the victim's fault at all that they've gone through what they've gone through. Yet,
Spy plane available for tasking.
but you know,
Tracking your spy plane.
hopefully everyone can
Hostile sentry turret active.
Contact with spy plane has been lost.
there are way too many people who are lie about being victims of other people. Perpetrators lie about doing anything wrong to victims, and even victim blame, which is terrible. All of us as a community, you know, like the whole clout chasing thing, like that whole idea that needs to just get kicked to the curb. Like, I'm not saying that it's real. I'm just saying that it's real. Let's stop it while we're ahead. You know?
Enemy counter spy plane inbound.
Way too many people who
Package
has
available for tasking.
gone through situations unspeakable. You know, it's just not cool. It's not cool to impersonate a victim just because you want to get clout or want to throw someone's name in the dirt. not cool at all. If you are doing that, stop it. You know, like if you have done that, be ashamed and move on. You know, like do better as a person, bro. Like not just for yourself, but you know, in the long run, your family,
Enemy spy plane inbound.
the people who are considered your friends, for anyone who knows you, you should not,
Time's
you
against
know,
us. Bring this home.
using people. And that's abuse. It's abuse. It's abuse. It's abuse. Hard truth is, you know, that's
Pull
just,
the damn plug.
that's just
Deconflict
life.
and move to exfil.
This one's theirs. I'm calling it.
But I mean,
Hostile
what
sentry turret active.
can we say? You know, like it's a very unfortunate set of events.
2 hostiles down.
Although I'm very much disappointed in people who participate in faking being a victim, and those who participate in making victims, you know, the perpetrators themselves, you know, y'all are terrible people. Jail would be the very least anyone can do to you, you know, like I can't say what I want to say just because this video is going on YouTube, but let's just do better, okay? Let's just do better. That's all I'm asking for, okay? That's all I'm asking for. Let's just do better.